Hold on, guys. Oh, I don't want to end. Not yet. Oh, there we are right here. What is going on? It is football in America. We are doing it, guys. College football is back on us. What is going on with you guys today, man? Chris, what's going on? I start with you. How you doing?
That's a tough one to ask because I'll just say this: when you're criticizing a win, the expectation levels have increased. And from where Clark Lee took over a program that was winless and had zero expectations, I'll relish that any day.
I guess that's true. Those expectations are definitely rising for you guys. Underdog Indy, what's going on, man?
Hello, everyone. I'm feeling pretty good. Can't wait for Thursday. Get a Mizzou win. You know, we'll eat cupcakes all day. It's cakewalk. So, yeah, let's get with it.
Go Hogs. How you doing?
Well, here's my sign for the week.
Okay. This
I can't read it. What does it say?
Indy has Bama envy.
And here's how I can prove this. He cannot go 3 weeks without mentioning Alabama on this show. 3 weeks, you can't do it.
Yeah, man. I you might be on to something there, man. You might. I wanted the same thing. They only been written free inside his head. Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing great, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't go 3 weeks without talking about Alabama because we're gonna talk about a lot about Alabama after week 2, and I'm gonna have a lot to say. So yeah, you're right. I can't go 3 weeks, but I called it months ago. But I'm doing good. How y'all doing today?
Good. Matt, how you doing, man? You okay?
Yeah, doing good. Can't wait till Saturday when Kentucky takes on, and then whenever the Devin Leary show starts.
I thought Matt might have his feelings hurt a little bit last night.
And Dustin, what is going on in your neck of the woods, friend?
What is up, fellas? This week, football time in Tennessee actually starts this week. Not little old Vandy, Tennessee football. The University of Tennessee starts this week when we will be playing in the backyard of Vanderbilt in Nissan Stadium. Boys, I'm stoked. I cannot wait for it.
Have been fired. Let's go, man. Well, college football, I tell you what, man, no more statistics, no more opinions, no more thoughts, none of that. I think I can speak for all football fans around the world. We're just ready to see guys strap it up and go to work now. All the wait time is over, and I tell you, I'm excited, man, to see football back again in the house, the tailgating, the food, the bickering back and forth. Let's just see what happens. It's going to be an exciting year. Georgia starts the year off wanting to go do a beat. Will that happen? It's not that easy. So we're definitely going to see how that turns out. We're going to see if Georgia actually has what it takes to three-peat. So before we go on any further, we'd like to go with the breaking news section. my Wi-Fi. All that storm and stuff you got going on, man. I think you need to keep that where you at, man. Like you're causing my internet stuff to go. For it, Dustin.
Michael, first of all, you need to get your internet fixed. Kenny, I'm really sorry for always picking on you. Michael, yours is terrible right now, buddy.
Hey, I told you guys this morning, okay, so just to let me off the hook, we having a storm here, so my Wi-Fi may be bad, but at least I told you guys earlier this morning, so my apologies. If I get kicked off, Chris Vandy can take over the show, and it seems to be he has good internet. So, Dustin, what news do you have?
All right. Okay, first and foremost, I want to apologize to the University of Kentucky for always ragging on their grocery store of a stadium because Thompson Bowling Arena is now about to be called Food City Center. I apologize.
I
do apologize to the University of Kentucky fans for ragging you guys for years and years. Now that deal is worth $20 million though over a 10-year period. So I guess that's the good part about it.
That's it.
Joe Milton, he did sign an NIL deal with Beats by Dre, and he did give everyone a pair of Beats on the team, and that NIL deal is worth $838,000. Good God. Georgia running back Branson Robinson, he is out for the season due to a non-contact injury. So keep an eye out for how they're going to look at their running backs and stuff. I don't exactly know if he was going to be a starter, but he is out due to a knee injury. For all you Alabama fans, Eli Gold, he will only do home games this season. He was in the hospital last year for 280 days due to cancer. So they are letting him still do the broadcasting only for home games this year. Okay. And then also Philip Fulmer, he was also put in the hospital earlier as well in the week due to a medical procedure. They really didn't say exactly what the issue was, but he was hospitalized. But they said that he's doing well, he's in good spirits, and all that good stuff. That was a statement from the family. And then also, I don't know if you guys noticed last night, we did have a new clock rule. We meant to talk about this, and I kind of want to go into this a little bit. The new clock rule. The game clock will run after first downs as it does in the NFL, except for the last 2 minutes of each half. This is the second rule. A team cannot call consecutive timeouts. Okay. And then the third part of it, untimed downs will only occur as needed in the second and the fourth quarters. So what are your guys' thoughts on this new clock rule last night?
Is it going to move the game along faster? Move the game.
Well, that was the idea. That was the idea of it.
So the problem I have, well, I don't have a problem with it. I actually like the rule.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're doing it in an effort to shorten the games, I can tell you I got highly frustrated last night.
Yeah.
Because these TV games are so stupid
mm-hmm.
that the teams are literally standing on the field waiting while a guy's standing out there with the clock on the field telling how much time before you can run a play.
Yeah.
Some of the timeouts are 3
Really?
minutes long, and you're literally just standing on the field waiting to run a play for 3 minutes. And
that's and that's my biggest concern is we're going to get more commercials and less game during the broadcast. That's so aggravating to me.
Yep.
It's not really going to affect teams like it's not going to affect teams like Tennessee as much because Tennessee just is boom, boom, boom. But it will affect teams that love to control the clock a lot more. That's going to be the biggest part of this, I think.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this: was the system broken and needed to be changed? Is that why it was changed?
Me personally, I don't think that it did. I mean, they tried to they tried to input this, in the MLB, the whole pitch clock, and yeah, it has shortened the games for the MLB. But I don't think football needed to be touched, man, because now coaches, they're going to have to be way more strategic on how they spend their timeouts, how they also spend their plays, which I mean is fine, but like I said, man, it's more for the TV and it's less about the game. That's the biggest, that's my biggest takeaway from it. It's aggravating.
I actually took a
and,
video
it's-
last.
No,
I actually
Chris.
took a video last night of we were getting ready for kickoff, and they were lined up. So I started recording so I could get the kickoff on camera, and then say we have football, college football live now. And the kicker lines it up. They're all lined up, ready to go, and then he had to stand there and wait. The referee said something to him. He walked up to the ball, adjusted it a little bit, walked back, got ready to kick, and again had to stand there and wait because they weren't ready to go yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it took over a minute and a half to get the kickoff off that they were lined up for to get going. That's not okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Matt.
These new rules are going to help, out some. I think it's going to make you play smarter football. It'll make you help you make better decisions in the long run.
Yeah. No, I like what Colin just said. They need to run commercials side by side with the game. I totally agree with that. They do that also with NASCAR as well. So they run the commercials while NASCAR is running. So I totally agree with what Colin just said. Run the commercials side by side so we don't lose. What's going on during the game. And then also, it would interrupt. It would not interrupt play calling. I love that idea, and I feel like that's the way that it needs to go.
And from somebody that was there and was actually affected by it, our game was 2 hours late starting for Lightning, which I'm not complaining about that. But when you're having to stand there and wait on the officials to say, okay, you can run a play now because there's a commercial going, and it extends the game. I didn't get out of there till after it was almost 12:30 in the morning when I got out of there.
Yeah.
Because in a game that took over 3 hours long because it was televised and we had to wait on commercials.
Yeah, no doubt.
So
no doubt. All right, Vandy, Chris, let's cover the game last night. So your thoughts on Vanderbilt this upcoming season? What did you see? What did you not like? What did you like? Go for it. Where's yours, buddy?
So for me, off the top, I'm gonna say this. When you're complaining about being 1-0, it tells you that the expectation level has changed versus where he took over the program, where there were no expectations. You're coming off a losing winless record. There were no expectations, and now we're complaining about a win. I'll take that all day long. Now, are there some things that have to be cleaned up? Absolutely.
Yeah.
What I didn't like, they tried to get cute on offense multiple times. They tried to pull the right guard, and every time they pulled the guard, the center would literally whiff on the chip. I don't know if that was just not him being athletic enough, or if he was just out of position, what it was, but it happened every single time they pulled a guard.
Yeah.
That's got to get fixed.
Yeah.
When they ran straight, when they let the offensive line play straight forward without pulling anybody, they were eating. They were making plays. They knew they were. They knew they could control it if they played straight forward.
Yeah.
Defensively, in the first quarter, we had a bunch of blown coverages. So we put in a freshman DB, Martell Height. After that, we didn't have so many as blown coverages as we had guys that were in position, had good coverages on the pass plays, but the fundamentals broke down. And instead of getting their heads turned around and making the play on the ball, they got beat on the receiving end. But they were right there in coverage. The scheme was good. But you got to fix the fundamentals and get that head turned around and knock that ball down.
Yeah.
I did not like how conservative we went in the fourth quarter. You have a 35-14 lead. Go finish this game.
Yeah.
put another one on the board,
Mhm.
put your foot on their throat and stop it.
Yeah.
And our coaching staff had no killer instinct last night. And I think that's something that they have to learn along the way
Mhm.
because they've never been in this position before.
Mhm.
It's always been play close to the vest, win it late. Well, now you're in a position where you're the better team. Go out and act like it and learn from what you did wrong last night and go out and put your foot on the throat. And, I'll take 1-0 all day. Happy we won, but there's a lot that's got to be fixed.
Yeah. Outside looking in.
Let me ask you a question, Chris.
All right.
Are you guys playing at the SEC caliber? Are you guys going to need a couple more weeks before you guys are ready to start truly playing SEC football or SEC opponents?
I mean, that's part of it. You get your biggest gain from week 1 to week 2. Happens with every team every year.
Okay.
That we did not play well and we came away with the win. That says a lot. We have the ability to score on anybody. We got to fix a bunch of little things. I liked how good our run defense was. We allowed 34 yards rushing for the game. They weren't going to run on us. I think we can compete at the SEC level, but there's a lot that's got to be fixed to say that you're even mid-tier. Right now we're, game 1, week 0, you're going to have a lot of mistakes and a lot of problems, especially if you're a team like Vanderbilt that's trying to build something new. So I'm happy with it. Let's go with it. Use these non-conference games to get better. And when SEC play rolls in and Missouri and Kentucky come to Nashville, be at your best.
Okay. All right. Here's my take outside looking in. Okay.
Yep.
On paper, Vanderbilt or Hawaii was much better than you were. That's just my opinion. Total offensive yards, they had 391. You had 302. They had 40 yards of rushing. You had 44. They had 2 turnovers. Hawaii did. If they wouldn't have had those turnovers, Hawaii would have beat you guys. The final score was 35-28. I understand. But you're right though. They took the pedal off there in the fourth quarter. You should never do that. It doesn't matter who you're playing. I don't care. I know that you got on to Tennessee last season because they just kept on with Missouri. But that's the thing though. You said it better. You said it. You have to have that killer mentality. You have to keep the pedal to the metal. It doesn't matter if you're up 35-14. That team can turn around and score in an instant. We've all seen it happen. We've all seen it happen. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That is something that I think that Vanderbilt needs to work on because I don't believe that Vandy is ready to play SEC play yet. That's just my opinion with it. Now, did you get the win? Absolutely. That's what's important. You're 1-0 starting off. Okay. There's a lot of stuff they need to clean up. AJ Swan, I thought last night was very slow with release on his passes. I think he needs to get that cleaned up. I think that your blocking needs to be a little bit better, which I'm sure they'll clean all this up. It was week 0, right? Very first game. You're always going to make those first game mistakes. That's just part of it. And I think that Clarkley will do that. Other than that, though, I wasn't very impressed with Vanderbilt. Not just saying that because I'm a Tennessee fan. I'm just saying as a fan, I just wasn't overly impressed. Which I mean, honestly, this game was much better than Notre Dame and Navy. That game was a pile of crap yesterday. If I'm being completely, this game was much more entertaining than what, and it could have been because it was an SEC game. Maybe that's why it was more entertaining to me. But kudos to Vandy, they got the win. They pulled it out. It wasn't a beating like it was last season, but nevertheless, you're 1-0 now. I mean, that's all that matters. And now, this coming week we have some bigger games coming up. We have Utah, Florida, LSU, FSU. We have Tennessee, Virginia, and then who else? Who else am I missing here? Sorry,
Kentucky.
South Carolina, North Carolina.
South Carolina and North Carolina.
South Carolina, North Carolina. Yep. So which game do you guys want to talk about first?
Let's go with LA.
So
Let's go with Tennessee, Virginia.
Tennessee, Virginia. Oh gosh. Okay. All right. Tennessee is a 28-point favorite in this ball game. Cooper Mays is out, which he is our center. So that's what's concerning to me. He's probably not going to be playing in this ball game. That concerns me. I'm concerned about Joe Milton overthrowing the ball. Sure, he's doing great in practice, but I'm concerned because he hasn't been under any pressure yet. Okay, he has lost the starting position twice, once at Michigan and then also once at Tennessee. So I'm excited, but I'm nervous. Okay, if Tennessee doesn't win at least by 28 points, I'm going to have questions. I think Tennessee gets the win, but I think I don't know, man. I guess my battered ball syndrome is acting up today.
I got you. Mike, who do you have winning that ball game, Tennessee or Virginia? And would it be a blowout if you pick Tennessee?
Well, if this were a debate, I'd go with the Who's, but it's not a debate, so I'm going with Tennessee, probably by 24.
I hope you're right.
Okay.
So I did see where the Tennessee athletic director added a little fuel to this game.
Mm-hmm.
And all he did in reality was confirm what the Virginia coach had said. There was interest from Tennessee. That's all he said. He said,
Right, and you're right. He and Danny White, he said that he interviewed several people, but that didn't mean that he offered them the job.
But the Virginia coach never, ever, ever said that he was offered a job. He said,
I don't know. I really don't know all the insides of that. I really don't.
Yeah.
Like I said, all I know is that he probably interviewed him for the job. He may have. And I don't know. I don't know if he offered him the job. Maybe not. I don't know. But I'm just going by what Danny White said. He said, I never offered the position.
So I actually watched the video of the interview. He said there was interest, and I decided it wasn't right for me.
Mm-hmm.
He took himself out of consideration. He never once said that there was a job offer.
Yeah.
So why Danny White thought he had to come out and say, "Oh, I never offered him the job," is beyond me, because he never said he was offered the job.
Well, I don't know.
Whether that plays a factor in this game or not, I don't know. I think Tennessee's a better team. I think Tennessee wins this handily.
Yeah.
So
Interest could be a 2:00 drunk dial too. You never know.
You're right. It very well could. It very well could. No, I think Tennessee gets this game. I think they start out 1-0. I think the final will be somewhere, because you know how fast Tennessee's offense goes, right? I mean, they were the fastest offense last season. Virginia, they only won 3 games last year, which I understand that's last season. This is this season, totally different. You know, we got a new quarterback, got some new guys on the line, got a couple new guys there at the wide receiver position, couple new guys at the defensive backs. Surely to God, we can improve from last season on the defensive backs. Surely to God, because last year we were 129 out of 131 or 132. Surely to goodness we can improve at least the top 100.
I feel your pain on being ranked that low.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Come on. Now, I mean, our rush defense was really good. You know, there was a lot of teams that tried to run on us, and we was able to stop them. But dude, there were certain guys, you know, in the defensive backs, they got smoked almost every game. Yeah. So I'm excited to see if that gets cleaned up as well.
I'll say Kentucky.
Next,
I'll say that.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Not Kentucky.
You're good, Matt.
We're talking about.
I was going to say
Tennessee.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say that Tennessee and Virginia. That's going to be a good game. I'll say that
Yeah.
Tennessee wins by 21 points. Virginia's given Tennessee fits, in the first half of their last two games, but Tennessee always seems to find a way to pull away from them in the third and fourth quarter.
Now it's been a few years since we played
heard that?
Virginia, so I can't remember which was the coaches, probably Dooley or somebody. But no, honestly, I see Virginia starting off slow, and I think Tennessee, I think they're just going to lay it down. I have that feeling. I think Tennessee is just going to lay the hammer down like they did on Missouri last year.
Well, I think the final is going to be about 34-10. Virginia's going to get a couple points in them, but
I mean, I think
Tennessee's
they
gonna
will
play
too.
pretty well.
I think they will
It'll
too.
be a good starting game.
Yeah.
I
All
guess
right,
there's
so
another
next
chance
game up on the
for
slate.
SEC to show the ACC who the big dog is.
Next game up on the slate, though, is North Carolina and South Carolina. Do we think Spencer Rattler shows out like he did against Tennessee and Clemson last year? Do we think that hype is going to transfer over into Game 1 of 2023 for Spencer Rattler? Chris,
I think South Carolina actually loses this game.
you really do?
I do.
Oh my gosh!
And the reason I say that, they lost their best running back, Marshawn Lloyd. The running game is definitely going to be different. I think having that inexperience in the run game right now is going to play a factor.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to depend on Spencer Rattler just to go out and win games for you. That's not the kind of player he is. I think they're going to have trouble dealing with Drake May and his passing ability. And I think North Carolina pulls this one out. I'm going to say somewhere in the neighborhood of 31-21.
So I was going to say, so the spread on that is 2.5 for UNC. They're actually a 2.5 point favorite. So it could be a very, very close ball game.
I just think offensively, I think North Carolina is a little bit better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got Drake May coming back, right? He was actually a Heisman favorite, and we very well could see Drake May become possibly get that Heisman as well this coming season.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about.
And you also, I'm not sure if you guys can hear me in that. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about Sam Hartman or whatever from Notre Dame, and they got so much hype after yesterday. And I'm not about it. I think Drake May is a clear front runner for a Heisman. He's going to show it. South Carolina's not going to be able to contain him. I think they're going to end up winning that game.
Yeah. Mike, what's your thoughts on this game? UNC South Carolina.
I'm going with the Gamecocks. Call me a homer, I don't know, but South Carolina really came on last year.
Mm-hmm.
They got some things figured out. And so I think that's going to continue over. I think they'll win probably less than a touchdown, but I think they're going to win.
Yeah. Matt, what's your thoughts on this?
I think that Spencer Rattler really come on last year against, Kentucky, Tennessee. That he had a very good game against Clemson, and I see him picking up where he left off. I mean, I see South Carolina beating North Carolina by 14 points. I
mean, it's very possible. I mean, like I said, NC they're only 2.5 point favorites, so you never know. Next game up though is FSU LSU. Man, this one is huge. This is going to be a huge game. Is Jaden Daniels going to play the same? And then also, here's my thoughts. Florida State is one Jordan Travis injury away from being out of even the top 30, in my opinion. Jordan Travis is the only reason why Florida State is ranked as high as they are. LSU, if you look at them, they have Malik Neighbors. They have Jaden Daniels. They have all of their returning linemen. Man, I think LSU is going to get this game.
So I'll be the contrarian here. I know this is a SEC based show, but let's remember this Florida State team absolutely dominated LSU in the first half last year.
What was that final last year? Do you remember?
they took their foot off the gas. I think it was what 28-25.
Yeah, it was a close. I know it was like it come down to like the last play. I know that.
But Florida State absolutely dominated them in the first half. They took their foot off the gas and went very conservative in the second half of that game. Kind of let LSU back into it.
Mm-hmm.
I think LSU goes out, and I think this is a statement game for them.
Yeah, I mean LSU's only a 2.5-point favorite in this, so I think it's going to be a very close game. Very close game. Indy, what's your thoughts?
Well, I think LSU is going to go out there and they're going to play their game. They're going to win by 6. I got a good feeling about 2 field goals, and they'll be all right. They'll show the SEC good.
You really, man. Yesterday, it just popped in my head. Yesterday was just a crap show, man. With Notre Dame, I'm sorry, I know this is kind of off subject. Notre Dame and Navy, and then Vandy and Hawaii. It just wasn't a very good slate. So I'm hoping this coming weekend it's going to be much closer games. I'm hoping that the SEC is going to show out. That's my hopes for this weekend.
Yeah.
Matt, what are your thoughts on it?
I will say that LSU is out for revenge for Florida State because, Florida State took the foot off the pedal, and I will say that LSU's got a lot to prove because they feel like they should have been in the playoffs last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I see Florida, or I see LSU winning by a touchdown.
Yeah. I mean, it's very possible. It's very, very possible. Mike, what are your thoughts on this?
LSU, it's going to be be close to a woodshed game. LSU by 17.
Wow, that's the biggest point spread so far today.
Wow,
that is the biggest. So you think LSU is just going to just nail them?
I think they've had 4 or 5 good months to prepare for them. I think they probably had that game circled since last year.
Yeah,
I think they're going to come out and put a hurt on them.
What, if anything, what has Brian Kelly really proven so far since he's been at LSU? Because he didn't prove anything at Notre Dame to me.
No, but I think what he was able to do, very similar to South Carolina. LSU, their first few games, they were just dead in water.
Mm-hmm.
The Bismarck, and but they came on, and so I think he showed he was able to adapt to probably put his players in the best position. I think the jury's out on him as being a coach.
Yeah,
but he was able to do last year throughout the year, prove that he can make some. He can game plan and he knows what he's doing. Yeah.
No, I agree with you. And then the last one up on the slate, man, is Florida and Utah. Now remember, Cam Rising. Chris, is Cam Rising? Is he playing this week?
I don't think that's determined yet, but
okay.
There is a lot of concern about his health and whether or not he's going to play at all this year.
Yeah, that was kind of, and that game is that's at Florida this year, right?
No, it's in Utah.
Oh, it's okay. Gotcha.
But without Cam Rising, that Utah offense is so much different.
Yeah,
they're going to be very good defensively, as they always are. But if you lose a guy like Cam Rising, it's hard for me to see them winning that game. If he plays, I think they're the better team, and they take care of Florida. If he doesn't play, I think Florida comes away and pulls out a huge upset win out there.
Yeah. Indy, what's your thoughts, man, on Florida and Utah?
I'm with Chris on that one because Utah last year, they were an excellent team, the way that they, handled USC. But without, Cam Rising, it's going to be real difficult. And Florida's got a lot to prove. They haven't been a whole lot in the past couple of years, so maybe this is one of their statement games.
Yeah, I mean, Utah is actually a 6.5-point favorite in this game. So does that make you lean one way or the other, or you're just thinking that Florida is going to get this?
I'm gonna go with Florida. I'm gonna go
Okay.
with Florida by 3.
Oh, very nice. Okay. Matt, what are your thoughts?
So, basically, same thing. I mean, Florida's the underdog, definitely, as we say. I mean, Florida's got a lot to prove. I haven't heard of any improvements on Florida's end, but definitely Florida's going to have a lot to accomplish going out west. Doing the traveling. It's hard on a team going out, traveling a lot of miles, but I see Florida being able to pull it off at the end. I'd say a touchdown. I'll go with Florida with a touchdown.
I got you. All right, Mike.
Y'all are coming at this from the wrong perspective. You can't go against Vinny, man. It's the use. It's all about the use.
So you think Utah gets this game?
I think Utah by 9.
Utah by 9.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Okay, here are my thoughts on this game. Okay, they have Graham Mertz, right? Graham Mertz, where I believe he transferred in from Wisconsin, right? This is a make it or break it year for Billy Napier. His ass will be on the hot seat, but between Florida and Utah, I'm picking Utah in this game. I don't think Florida, like I think Matt, like you said, Florida hasn't made really any improvements in this game. They're playing in Utah. I think Utah gets it, man. I do. Like I said, you got a new quarterback in a whole totally different system with Graham Mertz. I don't think Billy Napier makes it to the end of this year. That's just my thoughts on it. Chris, do you have any final thoughts on that?
I don't know that Florida would fire Billy Napier in year 2. But I definitely don't think Graham Mertz is the answer at Florida. He was very, very, very mediocre in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't the Big Ten.
No.
And, it's not part of the discussion, but these quarterbacks coming over from the Big Ten and the ACC that people think are going to be the world beaters when they were just very average in their own conference.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how that works, because if you're middle of the road against a weaker conference, how are you going to be top of the line against the best? No doubt about it. All right, so we're thinking UNC. We're thinking, let's see. Half of us are UNC, South Carolina. Half of us are FSU, LSU. I think all of us were picking Tennessee, and then it was half Florida and Utah. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. But Chris, what you know about some coffee, buddy? What do you know about some coffee? You're on mute, bro. You're on mute. I know that Bones Coffee is very good, and I'm going to take you to an advertisement right now by Bones.
Boy, that's mediocre.
Then what the
are you doing? I was drinking that.
No, you were surviving it. Give excitement a try with Bones Coffee. Click on the link below to order some for yourself. Here. Whoa is right. That substance you were sipping before is what we in the industry refer to as ass water. Sure, it technically has caffeine, but at Bones Coffee, we believe in the experience of waking up every morning looking forward to that first tasty cup. That's why we roast carefully selected beans in small batches to perfection, so you can count on quality in every cup. And not only that, Bones has a ton of fabulous flavors from which to choose.
Hey, did someone mention flavors? Highland Greg, pleasure to meet you.
What'll it be, Greg?
I've been hankering for the spiced rum flavor of Highland Grove, please.
Greg, I'm surprised by the size of your bagpipe.
Ugh, it's not the size of the bagpipe that matters, laddie.
Yeah, it's how hard you blow it.
Yeah, let's leave the talking to me.
Oh, gee, I just got back from chasing some hosers out of the grilling rink. I could go for some maple bacon coffee right about noon.
Coming right up.
Hey kid, you single?
Yeah.
That's why this place looks like
Here you are, my salty siren.
Thanks. I need the salted caramel chocolate pick-me-up after dealing with this loser.
How in the world are all these people getting in here?
We just walked in. Click on the link below to stop drinking water and get yourself Bones Coffee today. Or maybe you don't want to click on the link below because you think, flavored coffee's not for me. That was Sarah G's experience. She says, usually flavored coffees taste chemically to me, but these do not. They have a really pleasant aroma and flavor. They do not leave that weird residue on the bottom of your mug like many flavored coffees do. And Cheryl S. says, I ordered this for my son's GF for a B-day. She loves it. Why, Cheryl, that's awfully nice of you. Unfortunately, they broke up and I can't return it. Frowny face. Well, that's awkward. At least she liked it, though. Stop settling for mediocrity and order Bones Coffee today.
There was just a lot in that commercial.
There's a lot in there. There's a lot in there. It's hard to split that anywhere to divide it up into something else.
My favorite part of the commercial is when he kills the plant and says, "Oh God!" He just falls right over.
And
Chris,
then,
what is the promo code, buddy? What do we use to be able to get a discount?
if you want to get you some good coffee, my personal favorite so far has been the French vanilla. I did the French vanilla. I've had the strawberry cheesecake with a little bit of cinnamon sugar in it. That's really good too. But if you want to try you some coffee, use that promo code Dog Bones and you'll get 10% off of your order.
It's at the bottom of the screen, y'all. Dog Bones.
And every time you order something from Bones Coffee using the Dog Bones promo code, that comes back to us. It helps us out a little bit. We get a little bit in our pocket from that. So we would gratefully appreciate your support in buying some Bones Coffee.
Thank you to Bones Coffee today for sponsoring today's video. All right, boys. Today's final, and honestly, I think we're going to have a pretty good discussion over this. Today's final and best topic of the day, overrated, underrated. We're each going to pick an overrated team, conference, or player, anything, and we're going to pick an underrated team, conference, or player, or coach, whatever the case may be. Chris, I will start with you. Who is your overrated team, player, conference, coach of the year?
Please don't hate me, Dustin. I'm going to say Tennessee is overrated.
Okay.
And I have my reasons. Let me list them.
Go for it. Yeah, man.
They lost a Heisman Trophy worthy quarterback in Hendon Hooker.
Okay.
They've lost a first-round draft pick on the offensive line. They've lost their top two receivers from last year, Cedric Tillman and Jalen Hyatt, who was your Biletnikoff Award winner last year. They've also lost Alex Golis, their play caller, who decided to go to South Florida. This is not in any way, shape, or form that same Tennessee team that lit the world on fire last year. I see the expectations of going 11-1 or 10-2, and I'm just not sold that that's possible this year. I don't think they're beating Georgia. I don't think they're beating Alabama. And I've said it many times. I think UTSA comes in there and knocks them off in the trap game between South Carolina and Florida.
You're killing me with that UTSA game. I understand where you're coming from, but we all understand. We all know who really called that offense, and that was Josh Heupel. I understand the losing the players. I get it, but we all know who really called all the plays. That was Josh Heupel.
So, and like I said, it's not. Everybody knows I hate Tennessee. That's not why I'm saying that. I just think they've lost so many good pieces that they're going to struggle a little bit.
Yeah, I got you. All right, Indy, who is your overrated candidate of the season?
My overrated is Notre Dame.
Oh,
Until Notre Dame is in a conference, I will not have that much respect for them because they play, some teams that are just really not that great. I mean, Navy, come on. If you really want to show that you're a legitimate contender, play somebody tough in the first couple weeks and show everybody. But I'm just not drinking the Kool-Aid.
you just say you're just a Notre Dame hater for the season.
Every season.
Oh, every season.
So I'm guessing your Kool-Aid flavor would be lemonade since it represents the Notre Dame colors.
No, lemonade would be more of Missouri's colors. That would be the taste of their drink would be the color piss because it's gold.
No, his drink would be German chocolate after Martin Luther for the Protestant Reformation.
Matt, who's your overrated guy or team of the year?
I'm going to go out on a stretch to say that USC, I think as of right now, they're overrated. I know a lot of people got them picked to, really do good. And I just let them take on teams like, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, some of the upper
echelon of the SEC.
Yeah.
Do you think UK could beat USC right now?
What do you think?
What I saw from USC last night is they're not as good as what everybody thought they were. I understand it's week 1, I get it, but their offensive line is horrendous. Man, San Jose State was all over them last night, and it was a close game. I mean, up till towards the end of the game. But USC is horrendous this year. Go Hogs, Mike. What you got, buddy?
Well, I've kind of got to go along with my Missouri friend. I'm going to say Manti Te'o's girlfriend. Overrated.
Now there's a blast from the past.
Notre Dame is overrated.
Manti Te'o, he should have won. He should have won the Heisman. He should have won the Heisman. That's all I'm saying. He should have won the Heisman.
He was a good linebacker. You just couldn't choose his girlfriends very well.
Right.
So you
Mike, Matt. I'm a little bit surprised, but I was actually picking Texas. I am not drinking the Texas Kool-Aid this year. I feel like Texas is overrated this year. Sure, they have Quinn Ewers. He has a new haircut. He isn't rocking the mullet anymore. But I think Texas is overrated. I am not drinking that Texas Kool-Aid until they show me something. No, that's just my opinion on it. I think when they come to the SEC next season, they're going to get their asses handed to them on a platter. That's just my opinion. And I'm super excited to see Arkansas and Texas play again on a yearly basis.
I am too. So, we've been very successful about the last 3 or 4 games on them, so it's going to be fun.
Yeah. All right, now we are to our underrated candidates of the season. Chris,
before I get on my underrated, Matt, you're being called out by your own fan base for not standing up proud for Kentucky. You have all of these receivers that can run 100 miles an hour and jump from Lexington to Los Angeles in one step. How can you not beat USC, sir?
You have Devin Leary this year. You have Devin Leary. That's what you keep saying.
Yeah, Devin Leary. He's just wait. Just wait.
You have Devin Leary, but Chris, what is your underrated team, player, conference, so on and so forth of the season this year?
Okay, underrated. Can I have 2?
Sure. Yeah. Go for it.
Underrated team, UTSA.
Okay.
That's a very good football team.
Absolutely, yeah.
Very fundamentally sound. One of the best G5 coaches in America, and Jeff Traylor, who I think is going to get a Power 5 job after this year. Frank Harris, one of the top 5 quarterbacks in America. That's a very good football team.
Mm-hmm.
And my second underrated player, I know our secondary probably made him look a little bit better than what he probably should have. But the Hawaii quarterback Shager can ball. He threw some of the prettiest passes I've seen in quite some time last night.
Okay.
Over the shoulders, fades, bullets. That guy was money. I think he's highly underrated.
I gotcha. All right, Indy, thoughts? Well, who's your your underrated candidate of the year?
I'm gonna have to go with the U of H, University of Houston, the Cougars.
Okay.
I love their offense. It is so high octane all the time. They're a fantastic team. They're in a new conference this year. I think they go 8-4 and they end up in a bowl game. They do really well this year.
Nice. That's a very. I wasn't expecting Houston. That's a very different. Very different. So hey, kudos to you, man.
And,
all right, Matt.
And speaking of Houston,
yeah,
they have a really, really big game. First step out of the gate this week against South Alabama.
Ooh.
And no, actually that's Tulane. But that whole bunch, Tulane, South Alabama, Houston, UTSA, Troy, they're all in the runnings for making some. That might be the most.
Are they in the Sun Belt?
That might be the most.
Or are they in the American?
They were in the American last year. I think they're all in the Sun Belt this year.
Man, I'm telling you, the Sun Belt, Belt Fun Belt, that is a fun conference to watch, boys. If you guys haven't really watched any Sun Belt games, it's a good time to watch those games.
That thing
it really is.
That conference.
I want to give a little love to the Sun Belt.
Yep.
All right, Matt, who's your underrated candidate of the year?
I'd have to say, I know this is my home team, Kentucky.
Hey, go for it.
We got Lamcombe back, as offensive coordinator. He rejuvenated Kentucky's offense, made Will Levis a better quarterback by planning, his schemes and stuff. But with Devin Leary, I see Kentucky being more of an air raid offense again. The offensive line is going to be a lot better. So I see, Kentucky, don't underestimate them.
I got you. All right, Mike, underrated thoughts.
Man, this was a tough one for me. I'm going to go with South Carolina.
Oh,
just because again they were red hot last year. I just think they're going to have a good year this year.
Hey, Beamer ball, man. But I'm telling you though, if what is the coach's the head coach up there, Virginia Tech? What is his name?
Is that still Fuente?
It might be. But if Virginia Tech's if they have a real bad season, you better watch. Beamer more than likely is probably going to be heading home.
Yeah.
Because if they light the world on fire like South Carolina did towards the end half of the season, and Virginia Tech has a terrible season again, you better when home calls, you better go.
You're going to go.
So.
And honestly, that's my biggest concern with Josh Heupel this year is say Josh Heupel has another 10-11 win season, and Venables just has another horrendous year. I'm afraid that Oklahoma may be calling old Heupel back home. That's my biggest concern of the season.
So on that point, if Josh Heupel was going to leave to go somewhere else, he would have done it this past year.
Mm-hmm.
When Nebraska contacted and asked to talk to him,
mm-hmm.
He's made it very clear he has no interest in going to Oklahoma after the way they treated him.
Well, and I see that.
Nebraska was much more of a threat to take him away from Tennessee than Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But I wanted to throw one more thing out there on the overrated.
Yeah. Go for it, man.
Overrated. All the slander that Vanderbilt's getting for our construction project. Now, let me remind people that Arkansas in 2017 had a construction project going on during games in which they had construction workers catching extra points.
That's pretty awesome.
Missouri had construction going on. Arkansas had a dirt pile in their end zone, just like Vanderbilt. But guess what? Nobody ever said a word. So you know what? I love what Vanderbilt did yesterday to reply to all of these people criticizing our investment. If you're going to clown us, we're going to clown you back. We got our hard hats, baby.
Oh, good God. I loved what Josh Pate said yesterday. He said he was talking about the cranes need to be used as a goalpost. I loved that.
Exactly. That's so funny.
Hey,
I loved that. I mean, Chris, you know, the only reason why people were picking on Vandy, because it's easy. Vandy is an easy target when it comes to historically, they haven't been the best football program in the entire country. So, but it's easy. But no, kudos to Vandy. They're making progress. At the end of the day, I mean, you're right. There have been other schools in history that have had construction projects going on in the background. That's just a part of it. You know,
I got a question.
At least you didn't have to play at Pearl Cone High School.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Was the scoreboard really held up by cranes?
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Yes, it was.
Wow.
It was.
Wow.
It really was.
All
right. So my underrated, and you guys are going to think I'm a little bit I'm picking Florida, man. I'm thinking Florida is underrated this year. I think they're going to win 7-8 ball games this year.
Oh, wow.
That's just my opinion. I think Billy Napier really turns it around. You know, this is year 2 for him. I think Florida finishes probably 4th or 5th in the SEC this year. Just my thoughts. I think Florida is very underrated this year.
So I was going to ask Mike. You started to talk about Oklahoma. What were you going to say
about Oklahoma? I don't remember, Chris. To be honest with you,
it was about Josh Heupel and going to Oklahoma or Brent Venables or whatever.
I think you're right. By the way, Oklahoma treated him, he's not going anywhere. You know, and let's Tennessee. You know, in Tennessee's prime, it was the last coaching stop, like Florida. And so if Heupel could get that back there, there's no reason why the guy wouldn't stay, because he's got everything he needs to be successful.
He has, in my opinion, he has all the resources.
Yeah.
I believe that Danny White could sign a paycheck that could compete with anybody in the country. Like you said, we have the facilities. And Chris, I know you said that was the away. I understand. Look, I don't want the away locker room to be top of the line. That's just my opinion. I don't. But we do have really good facilities to be in the SEC. Now, there for a while, we were behind the times. Florida was ahead of the times. Okay. Right now, Vanderbilt, they're behind. Guess what? They're probably about to start being ahead of some schools.
Yep.
That's the way that it goes, man.
So
about every 10 years or so, schools will start making improvements.
So it's funny that you mentioned the visitors' locker room and stuff.
Yeah.
Did you see what's going around Twitter?
No.
That Vandy had a tent?
There was a tent for Hawaii's locker room last night. A tent.
Was that true?
I'm here for it. I don't care if you put them in a mud puddle out in the parking lot.
That is the worst of the worst, man.
It's like
put
a
them in
circus
a mud
tent.
puddle in the parking lot. I don't care.
That is the worst of the worst. In my opinion, man, one of the worst is Texas. They cut off the AC on teams. That should be illegal.
What about
that's
Florida in their pink visitors' locker room with the elevator music? You can't get hype in that. There's just no way.
Oh, boys. Other than that, man, does anybody else have any final thoughts before we get out of here today?
I don't. Just God bless. It's a great day.
Absolutely, boys. I'm excited, man.
Good
Football,
to be 1-0, baby. Good to be 1-0.
Football is back in full swing. We're super excited, man. SEC, all the SEC teams are playing next weekend. First things first, Florida, you can go to hell. I had to get that out of my system. South Carolina, Alabama, Georgia, you guys can go to hell for all I care. Other than that, boys, peace out and have a great day.
Go Cats.
Blue Pig.
I'll just do this.